good evening, and welcome into the Mafia cast. Brought to the fans, by the fans, and this is your one-stop shop for all things Bills every single week. Now here are your hosts, Mike Yanni, Ronnie Eastham, and Casey Cita.
Welcome to another edition of the Mafia cast. How's everybody doing today?
Dude, we're now less than an hour from game time, and I'm like starting to shake a little bit.
I mean, are we actually less than an hour? Kickoff will probably be like 15 minutes after what they say it's going to be.
Well, that's what they've been saying. It's going to be at 7:15. They've been saying the game at 7:15, so which makes me think it's actually going to be 7:30.
Either way,
kind of like that Brazil game. Right. Like the Brazil game, we were like, I think it was Mike and I. They were like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be on at 7." They were like, "Game on at 7," and then Mike and I turned the game on. We were like, "Where's the game?" And they were like, "Kickoff at 8:15." No, okay, you lied. You straight up lied to us. You said it was going to be 7:00 game time, and here we are at 7:15. You're like, "Oh, the game's in an hour." It's like, bro, just tell me. You don't have to like weasel me into it. I'm gonna watch the pregame anyway. Like,
yeah. To answer John's question, no, I didn't. I fixed whatever was going on, and don't ask me how I fixed it because I don't know. I just kept clicking stuff, turning this on, turning that off, and here we are. And I'm sure nobody missed my mug anyway. So, but thanks for asking.
Saying this, I did. It was weird talking to some pulsating dot all the time.
Yeah. It was kind of cool on my end because I could do whatever I wanted. Y'all had no idea. So I'm just sitting here munching on chips, drinking beer.
Did you have pants on?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that.
Oh, please. No, I had enough court stuff today. Please don't plead the fifths.
Let's get into this football game tonight.
Please do.
Yes, let's do. All right, before we do that, if you're watching YouTube, please like and subscribe. Check us out. You can check us out on our Facebook page as well, at the MafiaCast. Anything to do with the MafiaCast, just search at the MafiaCast, and you will find our content, both written and the podcast, as well as our live shows here. Thank you for joining us. Let's get into this football game. I'm just going to start with the inactives today. The first, well, let's just talk about Andreessen. He is not inactive. He gets his NFL debut today. What do you expect out of Andreessen tonight?
I think it tells me that he will probably be, if something happens to Balin, that he very well could be the first linebacker up off the bench. I mean, it'd be between he and Nick Morrow. Realistically, if playing safe, saying Spector doesn't get hurt, he might just be playing on special teams. And if it's a blowout either way, that's when you get him. That's when you get him out there. Okay, we're up 30, we're down 30. Joe, go play the fourth quarter. Go show us what you got in real game, like in a real game, not just a preseason.
Yeah, I think he'll get on the field at least some. Hopefully, it's not due to an injury. Hopefully, he gets out there because either it's simply just giving those guys a breather, or the game's so out of hand that they want to get some playing time for some of these other guys. One of the inactives that was a little surprising to me that I was not expecting is safety Mike Edwards is not active tonight. What do you make of that?
I think it shows you that Cole Bishop's on a good trajectory. He showed enough in the last, 6 plays last game that, okay, the pass deflection he did have in the back of the end zone, that was a great play. That was a really athletic play. So, again, I think it might just be they might throw him in like a package player, like if they decide to go dime at a certain point, and special teams, and then again, blowout on either side. But, yeah, Mike Edwards being inactive, one of these guys has to be. They're not going to play 5-6 safeties every night, so.
Yeah, I do think we'll see a little bit more of Cole Bishop tonight. It's interesting. He had all 6 snaps last week in the game, and his Pro Football Focus grade was, I think, an 83, 82, somewhere around the low 80s. Um, but that pass breakup that he had in the end zone, that was an athletic play, and that's what gets me excited for him because he can make plays like that. Shout out, I love Poyer and Hyde, but that's not who they are anymore. So to see him out there on the field doing that was amazing, and I look forward hopefully more of that down the road.
That play looked very Micah Hyde-esque. It really did. Just jumping up, being able to read that play and jump up and just tip it away at the last second.
Yeah.
That was very Micah Hyde-esque. So if that's the trajectory he's on, we're in a good spot at safety.
Really, really good spot. I'm looking forward to seeing. I don't know. I haven't really seen much as far as Edwards when he is out there. It almost feels like he's an afterthought now at this point, and I feel like they want to get Bishop out on the field, and they are maybe pushing him to be one of the primary starters. Do you think that within maybe a few weeks or at any point in the season, Mike Edwards actually becomes the starter and is the guy there, or do you think the coaching staff is looking elsewhere?
No. I think if anybody would probably would be oh my God, Cole Bishop. Oh, his name almost escaped me. Mike Edwards is there. He's won 2 Super Bowls. He knows what it takes. That group is so young and inexperienced. I know DeMar's been in the league for a little bit while now, and same with Taylor Rapp. Rapp has taken on that leadership role, but other than him, it's kind of young guys that haven't gotten much starting and playing experience. So to bring in somebody like Mike Edwards that started and played in Super Bowls and knows what it takes and has made those impact plays, get him in the building. And if he is playing better than those young guys, great. And if he's not, it's like another coach out there, and he's just like a perfect safety valve. If you need, if injuries start to happen, that's exactly what you want Mike Edwards there for.
Yeah, 100% agree. Let's jump over here to John's question. Who do you think will break out as far as wide receivers or tight ends? I'll let you start. What are you thinking? What are you expecting from the receiving core?
I think we've heard it all week. The Jaguars are one of the heaviest, if not the heaviest, man defense teams in the league. And we heard all training camp how uncoverable Dalton Kincaid and Khalil Shakir were. So to me, I think that this is going to be a Kincaid Shakir a little bit more of a pass heavy game because they are so good at getting open just on the route running. And I expect to see Keon Coleman be involved. I laid a parlay involving him actually and him scoring his first touchdown. And that's just because, he didn't have any targets, any catches last week. He also didn't need to throw the ball. So I don't take too much thought and process into that. It was just one of those things. So I think they're going to really try to get him involved. Again, being such a man defense team, let him go make those contested catches. Give him a couple chances to go up and really get involved in the game and ask him to make a play and see where he's at in his growth as a player. So I expect this to be more of a wide receiver heavy game. You're muted.
Because this mic, if you just touch it, it mutes. And I was trying to do something and I accidentally hit it. Anyways, this is a prime game for Coleman to shine, I think, because of the man coverage, and that's where I think he can excel because of his contested catch ability. I think he's still kind of learning the nuances of how to defeat zone coverages and how to find those soft spots and sit down in them and that kind of thing. The thing that made Cole Beasley a star in the league. So, I expect that. One of the things that sticks out is Darnell Savage is out for this game.
Yep.
And because of that, I think that's going to benefit Dalton Kincaid a lot. I'm not too concerned about Gabe Davis. Brian Thomas could be a problem, maybe, but I think they shake coverage towards him. But
the Jaguars are without Andrew Wingard. You know, he's one of those guys, kind of like a Poyer, who could play safety and linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
They're also without their starting number one corner, Tyson Campbell. They just put him on IR, and now they're out Darnell Savage as well. So that secondary is starting to get depleted. And again, being such a man-heavy team, you know, this is a really good litmus test for the Bills wide receivers to see where they are as a group. And I would bet you we see more MVS this game than we had the first two.
Yeah, that's a good point, because that's another thing that he should be able to excel at, right? Is beating that man coverage down the field. All of this well, we'll get to that because we're going to do our bold predictions later, and all of what we're talking about kind of plays into that for me as far as that goes. And let's jump into John again. Let James cook again also. The Jaguars they've got a good front four, at least on the edge, right?
And good linebackers.
Yeah.
Very good linebackers.
So I don't know. This is a good test, I think, for the Bills' offensive line. They've looked really, really good. Pro Football Focus has them ranked, I think, 4th or 5th in the league as far as top offensive lines go. This will be a good test for them. And if they can continue to do what they've been doing and open up those holes, I think this offense as a whole is going to have a big day.
I could definitely see it happen. I could also see our offense struggle against these guys like we have in the past because of, you know, Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker, who's starting to finally look like that number one pick that everybody said he's going to evolve into when they took him. They said he wasn't ready then. He's starting to be ready now. So this is going to be a big test for our tackles and our guys on the outside. But that also might mean this could be a big Josh get it out of the pocket game. And again, you pair Josh being able to leave the pocket and extend plays along with man coverage. That's where Josh starts to eat.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned the past games against the team and how we've kind of struggled with them. It's interesting, though, that we haven't had a home game.
Right.
Well, the last time we played with it, we beat them was in 2018. It was Allen's rookie year. I remember correctly, that was a road game. The last time that Jacksonville was actually in Orchard Park for a game was 2010, a game that the Bills won. So it'll be interesting to see.
Josh's rookie year, they won in 2018. Josh's rookie year, they won in 2018 in Buffalo.
Was it in Buffalo?
Yep, because that was when he threw that pass to Robert Foster that to this day, 70,000 people still don't know how that ball got out of Josh's hand.
Yeah, that's right. I remember watching that game because when the pocket collapsed around him, it's like the ball just shot up out of the middle of the pile.
Dude, literally, that is one of the most clear memories I have. Is just I remember sitting there watching, and it's like, oh, sack, and then the ball's just gone. And I'm like, how the bleep did he just do that? You know, so like it was that play mixed with the hurdle that I think that play is what solidified everybody to where, like, okay, there's something with this quarterback. You know, there's something there. And that was always the thing. It's like, what can you, in your rookie year as a quarterback, to me personally, what can you show? Like, just show me glimpses that you're growing, that, you know, that you at least belong here. You have the natural talent and ability, and you're trying. You know, that throw is when everybody was like, all right, that's it. Like, there's something to this. It's not just another J.P. Lossman, Trent Edwards type deal.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's something that we've talked about before when we were talking about young quarterbacks. I will just talk about Bryce Young for a moment. Usually, I won't say all to 100%, but usually you can watch a young quarterback, and like you said, you see moments. There's plays here and there. They're like, oh, I see it. I see it there. I see it in him. And that's what gives you the confidence that they can develop into that guy. Yep. So we kind of backtrack talking about Bryce Young. Admittingly, I haven't watched every single one of his snaps, but I haven't seen that from him. And then what the Red Rifle did to him, or did with the Panthers this weekend,
Dude.
the first and only quarterback in the league right now with 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in a game, which is insane. Because last season or the last few seasons, it seems like that was happening on a weekly basis. But
Right.
I'm just going to ask you the question really quick. We're off topic a little bit, but do you think Bryce Young is done in Carolina? That it is time for him to maybe the Panthers need to look elsewhere and send him packing and give him a fresh start?
I don't care what the Panthers do. I think for him as a player, he needs to just get out of there. I mean, they treated him kind of like Justin Fields. Here's an old-ass Adam Thielen, your rookie year, with no offensive line, 2 subpar running backs, like Terrence Marshall, who didn't turn out to be anything. And, like, they didn't do him any favors. Okay, so he fires coach rookie year. You bring all those pieces back that weren't great to begin with, and you get him Deontay Johnson, who looked like the best wide receiver in the NFL yesterday because of Andy Dalton. But we all know the truth on Deontay Johnson.
I think Johnson's a good receiver, personally.
I think he's okay.
I don't think he's a leader or anything like that, but
you need more than him. He can't be your number one, especially with a rookie quarterback. Like he's not going to help out a rookie enough to really grow him and groom him. You saw that with Kenny Pickett. The exact same thing. Kenny Pickett looks terrible with Deontay Johnson, but then you got like Mason Rudolph and those guys in there, and Deontay Johnson looked good.
Maybe because Kenny Pickett's not good.
Agreed. And we called that from the beginning. We were like, he is not awesome. But Bryce Young, you don't tear up the SEC the way he did, and all of a sudden become terrible. Because even the past quarterbacks that won all those rings in the 2010s for Alabama, nobody thought they weren't super high draft picks. Everybody's like, yeah, look what's around them. But these guys, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Bryce Young, they're all high draft picks because they were that good in college. They did make their teams better. So I think Bryce Young just needs to get out of there, get away from Canales, and just go somewhere fresh and do what Justin Fields is doing. Go in, have to compete with some mid-level, journeyman quarterback and earn the job. That'll build his confidence, and then he will play better. If not, he just sucks. All that to say that.
And that's where I'm leaning, honestly. I'll never throw in the towel on a young quarterback within their first few years because there's always a chance, there's always hope.
Especially his 8th. This is literally his 19th game.
Yeah.
He played 19 games in the NFL. I'm going to give somebody way more leeway. At that point, I will blame the franchise for that player because there's been no help. Then year 2, you give him a little bit of help and you still bench him. It's dude, you got to give the kid some time.
I get that, but again, Andy Dalton had no problem with what was around him. And Andy Dalton is not even a top 20 quarterback. But he did perfectly fine in that offense. And I think it's kind of crazy. I saw a stat today. I want to throw the Dolphins under the bus just because it's fun. The Panthers scored 36 points this weekend. The Dolphins scored 33 points on the season so far. So that's just wild to me. And I bring that up because I do want to transition to the Dolphins a little bit and the division actually. But let's start with the Dolphins. Are the Dolphins cooked? Are they done? Is this season an afterthought now?
They're in so much trouble.
They're
in so much trouble.
Does McDaniel might survive the season?
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh yeah, 100%.
What about Greer?
Because they are good. Greer, I don't know. That's a different question.
See, I think if you fire Greer, you're going to lose. You fire McDaniel too. I think they go together.
Greer played Madden. He built this team like you playing Madden. He did. He turned off salary cap.
It reminds me of when we did that fantasy draft, and I tried to draft an offensive line, and it did nothing for me.
Right. Well, he did the opposite to where he turned it off. He turned off salary cap, went and bought Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert. He went and bought all these guys, Jalen Ramsey, and forgot that, I can't just have a 72 overall offensive line across the board because I'm going to get cooked. And my quarterback, who is, not bad, but not the best in the league, is, and is also fragile, he's going to get crushed. by these guys. And
Yeah.
they have no depth at all across the board. You know, after Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, they have Odell Beckham, hasn't even played this year. If he
He's
does,
done. He's washed.
yeah, and if he does, big whoop. They have River Craycraft. I saw Miami Dolphins saying if we had River Craycraft, that game would have been different. Bro, you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. He's not going to make a difference if they aren't going to make a difference. Like, I don't know. I don't know what kind of logic that is.
I think the Dolphins fans are delusional. I know some that are I do like and are good friends, but in general, holy crap, they are.
See, the thing is though, like all the Dolphins fans that I know personally in life are like they're perfectly fine, all except one. Tom, I hate you. But like they're all fine, and then you get on Twitter and it's like we're going to the Super Bowl. Like, bro, how about you just like win a playoff game first?
Yeah. All right,
we have a Super Bowl in 1977. Okay, cool. Was your dad born in 1977 yet?
Speaking of Super Bowls, what do you think of the Jets right now? I say that because they were pretty much like the off-season Super Bowl champs. Initially, it was like, oh, these guys look terrible. Now, maybe singing a little different tune.
I mean, they look kind of how I thought they would look. You know, Aaron Rodgers just completing the 7-yard slant pass to all the wide receivers. You know, him not making mistakes. That's all they really needed is a quarterback who's not going to make the dumb mistake and able to make a throw or two a game. And he can do that. Their defense can do the rest. So they're still the team to beat. Like, we're still the team to beat, but they're clearly number 2 in the AFC East now. Patriots, not bad. Good little surprise. Not a good showing on last Thursday or whenever, but not bad.
Who's number 4 in this division now?
The cans of tuna.
I agree, and that's why I bring it up because they did not. They look terrible. I don't even know if, regardless if Tua plays this season, and I'm not going to get into what he should or shouldn't do. That's his decision, not any of us. But even with him in there, I don't think this team can get it. It feels like the league, NFL defenses have figured out his offense. They've figured out how to stop it, and I think a lot of it has to do with Tua, because like I said, he's an okay quarterback. He's one of those guys that the term system quarterback is what that is.
Well, it's the perfect system
for him.
With the perfect quarterback for that system. Like that, like it's a match made in heaven, which is why it works so well.
Yeah, he's only good. He needs this offense to be good. I don't think this offense necessarily. Well, I'm going to say I don't think it needs him, but it does need something better than Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, it does need him. I mean, it does need Tua. I mean, he also perfected that offense with Mike McDaniels. My
point being that there's multiple quarterbacks that I think can run that system, and he's just as good, maybe even better.
Well, I mean, yeah, the NFL figured it out. Basically, run cover 2 against them. Take away their drags. Take away the middle of the field. Had 2 high safeties. You know, everybody loves the whole cover 2 talk right now. Had 2 high safeties over top to cover Waddle and Tyreek from going deep. And yeah, they can't run their RPOs or their stretch or their deep passes all game. Now what are they going to do? Hand it off to a midget?
All right. Before we continue on, I want to talk a little bit more about. We'll get back into the Bills game tonight. We've got some score predictions to talk about. We've got our bold predictions to talk about. So before we do that, though, let's hear from our sponsors.
Hey, this is John from Game On Video Games and Sports Memorabilia. We are Rochester's premier trading card store. We have a wide selection of trading cards, autographs, and memorabilia. We also do autograph and celebrity appearances in the store. So if you're looking for the perfect gift for yourself, relative that doesn't like the Bills, or for a friend, come down and check us out at our Rochester location, 2670 Dewey Avenue, or our Hamburg location at 1 Buffalo Street. Go Bills.
Go Bills. And let's talk a little bit about the defensive side with Buffalo again, and what you expect to see from that. We know Brian Thomas Jr. He's been making some plays. I believe he's been targeted 12 times, has I think 10 catches. Gabe has been targeted I think 10 times, has 6 receptions. What are you expecting to see from these two, and how do you think the Bills will defend them?
I mean, they're going to sit in their 4-2-5, mainly, unless ETN just starts eating them alive, which, I mean, last year he had over 150 yards rushing against the Bills. Now, that was also the game we lost Daquan Jones, which, knock on wood, isn't going to happen again this year.
Yeah.
Lucky for him, we're already without Matt Milano, so he doesn't get to play against him, and we're out Terrell Bernard with Dorian Williams, and Spector have been playing very well. So if they want to pound the rock, that's what those two linebackers beg you to do. Please try to run it at us, because that's the best thing. That's the thing we are best at, is coming downhill and stopping the run. So I expect DeMar Hamlin to play in the box a lot tonight, or at least the Bills to have one safety, show more of a cover 3 look, and have one safety usually playing more down low, and not necessarily rotating as much, to make sure that there's always a little bit heavier of a box, because they do want to run it. They do want to run it. They want to run play action so they can get Brian Thomas and Gabe Davis off those deep shots. Now they're without Evan Ingram, which is huge. That is absolutely like monstrous. He's their Trevor Lawrence's number 1 target. So without him, they have I think is Cole Strange or Brenton Strange. We'll see what he can do. Yeah, that's right. Cole's the guard for. He was projected like 6th round, and Belichick took him in the 2nd. That's right.
That's the one. That's the guy.
That's right. That was the first nail that we were like, all right, big dog's gone senile. Anyway, I think we're going to be okay. Just stop the run. Don't let him get play action. Make him be one-dimensional. Make Trevor Lawrence beat you from the pocket, because he can and will leave the pocket and run, and he does have wheels. So I think, just make him contain in the pocket, make him one-dimensional, make Lawrence beat you with his arm, and he should be pretty good to go.
Yeah, we're going to push it along because I know we're short on time. Let's jump into the bold predictions really quick. I'll start with this one. I think it's pretty simple based on what we've already talked about with the players that the Jaguars are going to be missing in their secondary. I think this is Allen's first 300-yard game of the game or of the season. So I'm going to go 300-plus for Allen, 3 touchdowns. And I keep going back and forth between Kincaid and Shakir. One of them is getting 100-plus yards today.
That's a good one. I like that. I have Keon Coleman with his first career touchdown catch tonight. I think, like we talked about earlier, I think Josh is going to give him an opportunity to go up and get a catch, and especially a touchdown. I think he's ready. I think this is going to be a big coming out game for the wide receivers. So I think Keon Coleman is going to have himself a day tonight, and I'm excited for it.
And maybe Kincaid, Coleman, and Shakir will all have 100. Now that would be a bold prediction.
My heart would turn into like that scene from The Grinch, like when he has the X-ray and it grows 3 times that day.
We'll do the score predictions here in just a second because we're going to bring in Mike for that. But before we do that, let's talk about a little betting action. What do you got going on?
So going back to the Keon Coleman scoring his first touchdown, I have him with over 3.5 catches and the over on his yards, and Josh Allen going for 2 passing touchdowns and a combined 272 yards. That's passing and rushing. So I think if all that happens, $5 will win you 81. It's nothing extravagant, but it's what I feel like could definitely happen in this game for sure.
Yeah, I would be behind that, and I don't gamble much because I'm not allowed to in this state. But if I did, slow playing it would be my style. That's just how I don't like throwing a lot of money out. We live about an hour and a half away from the Nevada border, so we do about once or twice a year. We'll go over. It's called Jackpot Nevada.
Of course it is.
Of course, yeah. And we'll go there, and my wife and I will set an individual limit, and we're talking like $100 a piece. I don't like to lose money to strangers. Put it in their pocket, out of mine. It's just not much fun. But
notice how my bet was $5.
yeah, that's my speed right there.
Right.
Let's really quick, those of you who are listening, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, again, hit the like and subscribe. We appreciate you. We want to hear your score predictions. So start dropping those into the comments here. We'll put those up on the screen and share those. Mike, get in here. And wait for, there he is. Now the show can begin. Mike is here, folks.
Real quick.
Sorry, I'm a little late. Well,
That stutter that Ronnie just had just reminded me of the video that I sent you before the podcast, Mike.
Jeez, thanks.
you
Yeah,
know what I'm talking about.
very
You know
important.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Mike. Go first, buddy.
I'm
We're
up
putting
first
you on
now?
the spot.
Oh, great. Anyways, I like your bold prediction. So I would just want to add on that. But I think Dalton Kincaid is going to get the touchdown tonight in the second half.
I like it.
I want to say Kincaid in the fourth quarter. If I'm going to be extra bold with the prediction, so I'll just throw that out there. Yeah, John, I'm back for a limited time. Yeah, so tonight, I'm all in on this team, as you guys know this season. I probably only a couple times I might pick the Bills to lose, and I probably won't at all. But tonight, another close game, one score game, because that's how we love to do it. I'm going 27-24 Bills.
Wow, that's a close one.
27-24. That is a close one. I can see it. I could see it, though.
John's got the Bills eating cat tonight. Eating pets. I'm sorry.
I was.
Yeah, it's out in Buffalo.
I was waiting for it. I wasn't being the one to make the joke. They're eating cats.
He's got the Bills winning tonight, 34-17. I like that. That's a good score. Historically, 19 games these two teams have played. The difference has been 6.8. So they've had 15 of the 19 by one score or less. So it will be interesting to see. Casey, what do you got?
Well, teams this week that are 5.5-point underdogs are 13-2 against the spread. So, and the Jaguars just so happened to, this line opened at 5.5. It's since then dropped to 4.5. I think the Bills are going to extend that tonight. I think it's going to go 13-3. I think the Bills are going to win 32-20.
32. Okay, how did they get 32?
Don't ask.
It just happened.
The same way we got 18 2 weeks in a row last year.
That's a bunch of field goals. You can't get 32 with just field goals. You need a safety in there.
See, big brain.
All right. For me, I did the prediction piece earlier today. So if you saw that, you know what I'm going to say. But I do have the Bills winning this one. I've got it 34-21. I wanted to go more for the Bills scoring because I really do think that the Bills offense is going to kind of explode, open up a little bit today. But every time I do that, the exact opposite happens. So, 34 is still pretty big.
Right.
But
it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, eventually, I'm going to be right.
I think all three of us are in the same boat to where I think we're going to get off to a hot start in the first three quarters, and then we're just going to be chewing the clock in the third, except for Mike, who thinks Kincaid's going to score a touchdown, which Mike, please put in a $5 bet for Kincaid to score the last touchdown of the game, because if that happens, that would be huge.
Yeah. Wonder what that I might have to look into it.
Right.
Oh, you got about 10 minutes to do it.
Yep. All right, boys.
Yeah, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you Thursday evening. We'll recap this game. we'll talk about the upcoming game with the Ravens. So that's going to be another fun game to dissect and break down. Buffalo's always traditionally done pretty well against the Ravens in the past, so hopefully that continues. But before we get to that, we've got a game tonight, so we're going to get out of here and check that out and go Bills.
Go Bills.
Number 1 in Turkey. Go Bills.